Okay, yeah. So if y'all see a little nipple, maybe. Okay. I just want to start this off with a review, and I really don't review shit. So here we go. That was Terrific Treats. Good. 10 out of 10. I feel like it gives more natural sweetness. It's very good. Good juice. Now, best for last. My mama Vin got one of these. You lame as fuck. Travis motherfucking Polish sausage. You lame as fuck. That shit good. Hold on. Bitch, break my scale, ho. Break my motherfucking scale, ho. Hey, Hood, take over. I got shit all around my lip. That shit.
One of her issues is that she trusts the wrong people. What was done to her wasn't right. It wasn't fair. It wasn't fair.
She was full of life, and she loved her family. She had just begun getting real close to her cousins, and she was my baby, you know. And she had a baby, and didn't deserve what happened to her.
What happened to Mahogany Jackson is unspeakable.
What it do, gang? It's your girl Fendi. This is SNTV, and so I've decided today to go over the story of Mahogany Jackson from Birmingham, Alabama. She was 20 years old, had a 3-year-old daughter, and when I see her, it makes me think of my own daughter. So I was like, you know what? Let's go over this, because a lot of times our parents will be telling us, you know, oh, hey, you know, this is for your best interest. And we don't listen. You know, as when we was young, we didn't listen, you know, and we pray our kids will listen. But in this story, Mahogany's mom warned her, and she didn't listen, and it cost her her life. So let's get into it. So Mahogany, like I said, 20 years old, from Birmingham, Alabama. She came from a background where, like, she did have the support of her family. She had the support of her mom, and if she needed something, she knew that she could depend on her family to be there for her, whether it was financial or whether it was just with her 3-year-old daughter. She had somebody to have her back. She began hanging with a different group of people, though. One named Tasia. She's like the main one in particular, Tasia. She called Tasia Tay. And, you know, it was some other girls too. Sanaya, Ariana, Giovanni. Those are the females. And you got Ace, Pope, Kodak, and BG. So this is Tasia's original crew. Okay, when Mahogany came into the picture, she was just somebody from another part of town who wanted to quote unquote fit in, and so whatever they were down to do, she was down to do too. Now, when we are looking at situations like this and we see the victim, we try to think to ourselves, like, what could she have possibly done to make these people want to do this to her? There's no excuse for how she was treated. You know, this is somebody's child. This is somebody's sister. There's no excuse for how she was treated. But I do feel like at the same time, let's see who like Mahogany Jackson really was. This gang of people, they would rob people. They would set people up to get robbed. And so, of course, Mahogany, she wanted to fit in. So she got down just like they did, you know. But it just wasn't in her the same way. She had, you know, I don't want to say like she was trying too hard, but she had to really fit in. I'm going to just put it like that.
How was Mahogany's relationship with her mom?
Mahogany was spoiled. Like, I can honestly say, like, she chose to be around us. Like, she didn't have to be around us. She really did. Like, she didn't have to be around us at all. Miss Gill, anytime Mahogany needed anything, Miss Gill was one phone call away with no problem, no hesitation, no nothing. It was just how Mahogany was. Like, Mahogany can be in a room full of people and make a party by herself. Like, she never had to do like everything everybody else did. And then when most of the time when dudes came around, the first person they wanted to talk to was Mahogany. So everything that night was a build-up of years. And I'm speaking for like Tasia. For Tasia, that was built up over years. That was just years and years of them constantly getting back and forth into it, them constantly arguing, her constantly making a problem with Mahogany. Like, it was, that's why she looked like that in that courtroom. Like, it ain't the point that she thinks she in a video game. That's really how she feel. That's really how she feels. She don't care at all. If you probably was to go in there and ask her if she cares, she'd probably tell you no, she don't. Because she don't.
So, I'm about to play a clip for y'all where a TikToker who goes by Magic FDB, she has a show called Crime After Dark with Magic. She was speaking on Mahogany's situation. I guess like she got a little bit more insight about who she was and, you know, just a little bit about her background.
But now we finding out, I told y'all that the mom had put her out. Did I tell y'all that? But the mom had put her out more than once. Like, she kept getting put out when she was staying with her mom. But once she was in this government housing, like, then right, her mom knew you had to know. Because my mom know, she'd be like, don't do this because you know they're going to mess with food stamps. Don't do this because you know they're going to, you know what I'm saying? Type shit. And you know if she got her baby, she was like, let me get that food stamp card. You're not finna keep her. And you ain't doing shit. You know what I'm saying? She bought her first car. And she's, so anybody out there whose mom really support them, who bought your first car? I ain't buy my first car or my second. Or the third, hell. If I'm being honest. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like you, and I'm not even sure anymore that she was just so worried about her life. I think she was worried about, she was probably scared of Mahogany. Because Mahogany stayed snapping. It was like she had some type of, like, you know how somebody got like goddamn bipolar disorder? You know, and they always tripping, they always snapping. That's how Mahogany was. She did that to her neighbor. One time she nice, one time she not, but she never had stuff. She was always asking about this, asking about that. It wasn't nothing up in the house. The lady wasn't letting her shop a little bit. She wasn't even bringing her baby over there. The girl had to call the neighbor to check on the baby. And now you evicted. Y'all gotta be out the house, but you're still asking this neighbor to check on the baby. Like, how she gonna do it? And they gone. I'm just wondering. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, they got into it because she was selling the food stamps. The mom was selling all the food stamps. And so they got into it about it. And Mahogany ended up jumping on her. Another thing. If allegedly, all this is alleged, remember that. Now, if indeed Mahogany did turn some tricks, and her mom know everything else about their activity, how dangerous it is, you think she didn't know that? You think she didn't throw that up in her face and all that? People running around talking about you got herpes. You think they ain't got back to her mama? You think sister ain't telling? She done jumped on the sister too. They all was falling out all the time. Because Mahogany was really trying to, you know, just like a lot of us were a problem. And we straightened up.
And how many of us can relate to that story, you know? Because I know that when I was young, I definitely always wanted to like be in the streets. I wanted to run the streets with hood niggas, and you know what I'm saying? That's just what I wanted to do, but I never needed to do any of that. Like, my parents always had my back. They always showed up for court, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I get that, and I know a lot of y'all can relate to that too. But so now I know you guys heard her mention another female by the name of Blue, you know. So Blue is she's a female who likes females, and she had a crush on Mahogany, you know. And that's understandable. Not throwing no shade, but like when you look at the rest of the females in the group and then you look at Mahogany, like, yeah, Mahogany is gonna stand out in this situation, especially like with her being the youngest and her being the most least of the ratchet, if that makes sense. Blue, she had a crush on Mahogany. She met Blue through Tasia. At one point in time, Blue had fell down on her luck and needed to move in with Tasia. I feel like that's the kind of house Tasia had. And this is all like alleged. This is just my opinion, just listening to all the different things. Like, I feel like Tasia just had that house where it was like, hey, you know, if you need a place to stay, I got stamps, I got hood, like, come over. You feel me? Like, you could stay here for a while, you know, but at the same time, don't wear out your welcome, because this girl, she's vindictive. You don't want to get on Tasia's bad side, which is what Mahogany did. And according to sources, Tasia and Mahogany, I don't want to say like they always had beef, but basically how they was putting it was like Tasia was jealous of Mahogany. You got to think, she came from a different background. She came from a different side of town. She looked different, you know. She was just a different person. And you know how that goes when it's a group of the have-nots who have to fight tooth and nail to get their next meal or whatever that, you know what I'm trying to say. Like, it was different for them. But Mahogany, like, you know, she didn't have to be over there, but she chose to be. And you know how that go with a lot of females. What you over here for? Like, you ain't even gotta be over here. Like, what do you want? I mean, I went through her TikTok when she started last year, and supposedly her and Mahogany been friends for the past like 3 years. She got videos with everybody, like, except Mahogany. So how is this your friend and y'all don't even have one video together, but you got tons of videos, you know? So I feel like that speaks volumes. Now, like I said, I feel like Magic has a bit more insight to the situation than a lot of people. I feel like she has like some inside source, because the things that she says, like, I haven't heard like a lot of people say. So I'm gonna jump back to her video for a moment. I want y'all to listen to this.
Not even just that. A bunch of them know what's going on. They know the move. Y'all understand this been going on for like almost 3 years with Mahogany? It is. It's been going on for almost 3 years with Mahogany. And it's all about acceptance, trying to be accepted. You know, when you're trying to be accepted, the person that's trying to be accepted is the one that's doing this. The one that's trying to fit in is the one that's doing this. The one that's trying to make up for something that they lack is doing this. That's what you do. Even in a family, you got a mother that likes one sister better than the other sister gonna be doing this. Because they want that love. They want that acceptance. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's what they want. So, do I believe that Mahogany and Blue messed around? I believe that Mahogany was like, ugh, I do. I believe Blue felt some type of way. I believe if Blue, how you gonna sit up there and say, you ate Sanaya? So you mess with everybody. You tried to run through the whole crew. You did. And you was mad that she didn't. And they was probably mad she didn't too. Like, you think you better than us because we did. You understand what I'm saying? I believe everybody messed with her. I believe the three-way call's a damn lie. I believe, if anything, it was some type of group call with a lot of y'all on there. That's what I believe.
The three-way call she's referring to is what sparked the whole attack against Mahogany in the first place. it was a lot of back and forth that was going on. Alleged conversation saying that Mahogany had got into it with Tasia about her baby daddy. So Tasia ended up telling her baby daddy that Mahogany had herpes, and so allegedly Mahogany went and got tested. He took her to get tested and found out she was clean and free, and so after that they ended up fooling around. So that's what they're saying is like what the beef was really about between them. But her baby daddy ended up getting unalived right before all of this happened too.
And all this stemmed from, I don't know who went back and told her what made her think that Cash was paying Mahogany, that he was giving her money. Now, was he giving her money for sex? Alleged. Now, again, remember I told you I stumbled upon this case because I was on the Mike Jones case, and I seen them say, y'all really like that girl? You know, I was reading some stuff, and I even heard, I swear on everything I love, I heard a video, well, it was an audio of, they were going back and forth, arguing for a minute, even though I jumped up, talking about each other, and Mahogany was on one audio saying, yeah, you told your dude I had herpes, and he wanted to fuck with me so bad that he paid for the test at the hospital to make sure I didn't have it, and he fucks me oh so good now that he know that I'm so clean. It was a video like that, okay? It was an audio. I heard it. So,
but getting back into like this whole call and this whole situation with Blue, Blue did some interviews on TikTok with a person named Raw. And I just want y'all to like listen to these conversations that she's having and just listen to the things that she's saying, because for what I took from it is that they put Mahogany, Blue and Ariana put Mahogany on a 3-way call, and they had her thinking like, oh, you know, this is a safe place, go ahead, express yourself. And when she started to do that, the things that she ended up saying, some of the information that she ended up revealing made Tasia and her crew feel like, oh, you playing two sides. And you will see that in another video. So let's get into the calls.
Romantic with each other.
But everybody that's involved, at one point in time I was cool with. I know Tasia is my ex-best friend. We were best friends for 4 years. I've been knowing Mahogany since she was 17. I've been knowing Ace since he was about 22, 23. Been knowing BG the same amount of time. So I've been knowing Ariana since I was probably like 15. So all of these are people that I know. These are people that I've associated myself with for a little while now. So I went live trying to separate myself from it because I'm close to it. And it seemed like that didn't even help. They just pulled me right into it.
Yeah, because a lot of people are saying you had some knowledge of this. Is there any proof to that? Like, did you know of a beef that was going on between Mahogany and Tasia? Was you and Tasia romantic? What was the situation with all y'all?
Okay, first let me say that I have never been in a romantic relationship with Tasia. At no point in time, in any type of way, we were literally just best friends. That's it, that's all. Me and Mahogany had been talking, dating off and on for probably about the last 2 or maybe 3 years.
So you and Mahogany were in a relationship?
Yeah, when Mahogany passed away, we were talking, yes.
And y'all were romantic with each other?
Romantic? No. It had never got to that point. It was more so of emotionally, she was there. If something was said that I didn't know about, she would always call me and tell me, like, no matter who said it.
If something was said that I didn't know about, she would always call me and tell me, like, no matter who said it.
It was basically me and Ariana and Mahogany were on a 3-way call. Now, from my understanding, before, all of this situation right here,
me and Ariana were close because of me falling out with Tasia. And then she fell out with Tasia in the same situation that I fell out with her in. So from my understanding, they're not talking.
That's what she's telling me. So when me, her, and Mahogany was on 3-way, we was talking about going to Biloxi, Mississippi for Black Spring Break. We talking about going to Miami. we was talking about, Mahogany was telling me how she wanted me to go on the cruise with her for her birthday to Jamaica. And she told me, she was like, while I got you on the phone and I'm not around them, you need to watch yourself. I was like, what you mean? She was like, Tasia and Ace were just sitting around talking about, you know, setting you up. They trying to get you killed because they feel like this case is only going on because of you. So they feel like if they get rid of you, the case will go away. So I told Mahogany on the phone, I said, well, I got 300 reasons why they shouldn't come over here playing with me, but I mean, if they do, I can't stop nobody. But I'm not worried about it. I had already got the word.
And Ariana heard you say this?
Yes, me, Mahogany, and Ariana were on the phone when this call went on.
Okay,
so that's why in the video, yes, we were the only 3 people that knew. And at the time that I was told about the setup, and even now, I have not talked to Tasia since January. I don't have anything to say to Tasia. I haven't had anything to say to Tasia since January.
And what about Ace?
I haven't talked to Ace in probably like 2 years. Yeah, I haven't talked to Ace in 2 years. When I started coming back around, Ace wasn't coming around because there was a situation between Tasia's brother and Ace where he took a gun out of Tasia's brother's house.
So you were never around these certain people so how did you get into the mix of I'm trying to understand how you got into the mix of all this because
they're saying that and now you're seeing why I'm saying like this shit is crazy. They're saying that I'm the reason why it happened. I set it up. How can I set something up if I'm not talking to these people? I'm only talking to 2 people. We never sat on the phone and talked about it. I'm telling you, from my understanding, Ariana's not talking to Tasia. That's what you're telling me. You're telling me that they're not talking to her because of the situation that went on.
Me and Ariana were close because of me falling out with Tasia. And then she fell out with Tasia in the same situation that I fell out with her in. So from my understanding, they're not talking.
Me and Ariana were close because of me falling out with Tasia. And then she fell out with Tasia in the same situation that I fell out with her in. So from my understanding, they're not talking.
So where did the beef start with Mahogany?
That beef, all of us were friends at one point, let me say that. So there was never an organization of crime, nothing like that. We were friends. Mahogany has stayed with Tasia. Mahogany had stayed with me before. I've stayed with Tasia before. I've spent the night at Mahogany's house before. We were friends. Until situations started coming up and it was basically a whole bunch of he said, she said, and nobody really knew like what was said or what was done. We was really just going off what one person was saying.
Okay.
So with them situations, it started though, probably like, let's see, we met Mahogany when she was 17. It started probably like the end of 2021, maybe the middle of 2021. That was when they had their first situation with each other. And so Ariana never told me.
You talked to Ariana?
The last time I talked to Ariana, like the last time we had a real conversation, we was really just going off what one person was saying.
Okay.
So with them situations, it started though, probably like, let's see, we met Mahogany when she was 17. It started probably like the end of 2021, maybe the middle of 2021. That was when they had their first situation with each other. That was when they pulled up to Mahogany's house and tried to get her to come outside to fight. I wasn't there for that either.
And this is Tasia now?
Yeah, this was Tasia and probably about 3 or 4 other girls and some guys.
And this was 2 years ago?
Yeah, this was like 2021. This was like right after we started hanging together.
So when was the last time you talked to Mahogany before she went missing?
The beginning of February. Valentine's Day to be exact.
So you haven't spoken to her since then?
Nah.
And you were not aware. So what is this about a group chat that was going on between you guys? They were saying like you was involved in a group chat. There was some.
I don't know anything about this group chat. I keep seeing it's a group chat. It's 30 people in the group chat. I don't know anything about this group chat. Now what I do know is there are FaceTimes in Tasia's phone where she would add people on the phone from her call log. People that we didn't even know that she knew, and we would all be on FaceTime together talking about each other. Now I'm not even on those group chats because I didn't have an iPhone at the time. I had an Android. So there's no way that I'm in a group chat if I got an iPhone Valentine's Day and I stopped talking to Tasia and them in January.
So when was this you found out that they was trying to set you up?
The beginning of February. This was the second time that I found out they were trying to set me up. The beginning of February, like.
And that was the last time you talked to Mahogany?
No. The last time I talked to Mahogany was Valentine's Day. I talked to Mahogany after the video of her and Tasia jumping that girl in the store, maybe like a day or two after. And that was when the three-way phone call happened, and that was when she told me I was being set up.
So
but I was supposed to be getting set up.
So there was a video right before she... Hold on, what was this video? What video are you talking about?
There's a video posted on his page. I don't know if he's still here. Sanaya got into it with some girl at the store. And again, I'm not around for any of this. I haven't been around since January. So I'm hearing this from Mahogany, because I'm calling Mahogany like, bro, what are you doing? Like, you told me you want to go back around with folks. What do you got going on? And that's when she told me, like, Sanaya got into it with the girl at the store. And when they got to fight, she basically turned around and said that they jumped her. So when they seen her in the store again, they actually jumped her.
Who jumped who?
Sanaya, Tasia, and Mahogany jumped some girl at a gas station down here. And this was the beginning of this was the beginning of February. This was like February the 7th.
And she told you later not to trust them and stay away from them.
It was probably like a day or two later. But I told her the same. Like when we was on the three-way call, I told her the same. It wasn't just, her telling me like, they gonna set you up. It was me telling her like, you see how they trying to do me, you need to watch yourself. Like, I'm not around them, so I'm not worried about them. You're around them, and you know how they moving. So you need to watch yourself in that situation too. You really don't need to be around them. But I can't tell you what to do. You're grown.
So did you hear that they were trying to set her up?
Nah, I never heard that. They were just cool. That's what confuses me. They were just buddy. Even the night that all of it happened, y'all were buddy that night. I'm having people telling me like, oh yeah, I seen them together here. They was laughing and talking when they was here like 9 or 10 o'clock Saturday night. So how do y'all go from being together and getting drunk and all of this to this situation here?
So they was cool that night?
Yeah, they was cool when she went over there.
So she knew Tasia was there?
Yeah, she knew Tasia was there. They were friends. We were all, before we started, because Ace and BG just got in the picture probably like 2022. But before that, me, Tasia, Mahogany, like just us three, like excluding all the other five, just us three. I've been knowing those two right there since I was 19 years old. I'm 23. I'll be 24 this year. I've been knowing them for a few years now.
So then, what popped all this off then that night? Like, if you saying people told you they seen them, so then her last moments, what was going on?
From what I'm being told, and from what they're saying, they were drunk. It's not me.
Which one of these women were you intimate with in this group?
None. The only person I've ever dated, I take that back, and not lie to you, I'm sorry. I did give head to Sanaya one time.
When was it?
And that was it. This was December of last year. November or December.
So a few months ago.
Yeah, that was a few months ago. But I was not talking to Hatch at the time.
And Hatch is
Mahogany.
Mahogany,
yeah.
So you were not talking to Mahogany why were you not talking to Mahogany at this time?
We hadn't spoke in like a couple years. It wasn't on no type time where we was into it or nothing like that. It was just
wait. You and Mahogany hadn't spoken for a couple years.
Me and Mahogany had been talking, dating off and on for probably about the last 2 or maybe 3 years.
Yeah, like December. Me and Mahogany just started talking January of this year.
I thought you said that you've been knowing her for 3 years and y'all been friends for 3 years.
Yes, but I hadn't talked to Mahogany. I wouldn't even say a couple years. It's been at least a year. The last time I fell out with Tasia, that was the last time I had talked to Mahogany. I didn't start back talking to Tasia until December of last year. I didn't talk to Mahogany again until January of this year. And it wasn't a situation where we was into it or nothing like that. It was just, Mahogany had moved into a phase of her life where she was doing better. And I had all types of stuff going on. So it was just, we wasn't talking at the time. We were still, checking on each other and stuff like that, but we weren't talking on that type of level.
Okay, so you and her hadn't talked for a couple years, but you get back in contact with her just in time for her to jump somebody and then tell you that there is a hit out on you, and then you kind of told her, hey, you be careful too, and then you see some FaceTime videos going around on Facebook, and then you figure out.
Nah, I didn't see the FaceTime videos going around on Facebook. I got a phone call that she was missing. I didn't hear about the FaceTime videos until after she had died.
So when did you get the phone call?
I got the phone call she was missing. Oh, I ain't got my phone, so I can't tell you exactly when.
I mean, was it Saturday? Was it Sunday?
It was Saturday.
You got a phone call. Who called you?
I'm not gonna call him her ex-boyfriend, but a guy Tasia had dealt with that's a good friend of mine, he called.
Now, just from listening to those phone calls, it does make me feel like, you know, something that was said in those phone calls could have possibly led to what she went through, because in part 2, which I'm going to be putting out in a couple of days, in part 2, you'll see where, you remember she said her and Ariana were on a 3-way phone call? Then you're going to see in the video, the girl that's yelling at her, like, in the video, like, oh, see, you play 2 sides, because they had this 3-way phone call on the 14th of February this year. And then she was unalived around, like, the 24th. So, you mean to tell me you got Ariana on 3-way on a phone call where she's exposing Tasia and Ace for wanting to set up this girl Blue, and then in the video, Ariana is the one that's saying to her, like, yeah, you playing both sides, so you ain't say that? So, yeah. But, this is the end of part 1. I want to thank you for tuning in. I'm going to have part 2 come out for you guys, like I said, in just a couple of days. So just stay tuned, because I'm telling y'all, this whole situation is just crazy. But yeah, it's your girl Fendi, and shit, I'm out.